Any questions?
What size was
Awesome.
this?
This is 12 by 12.
Well, you see, you really did it quick then.
Yeah. Well, size sometimes doesn't matter as much for like how quickly it's kind of subject. It's kind of like how much is going on with the subject. It probably took me just as long to do this one as it would have taken me to do the same cow in a 6 by 6 or 8 by 8. But I can show you how my frame will look. I have one 12 by 12. This is the last 12 by 12 I'm going to do until I get more frames. Oh wait, I think I do have more 12 by 12s in my other closet.
Do you find after doing such a detailed one as your large one that we can see back there, that it's easier to come back to the furry, curly animals?
I think so. I think maybe. It's kind of a relief in any case. It's kind of a relief to come back to those.
I have a question. You talked
Uh-huh.
about, in your background, you talked about using the same values, and you said it creates a vibration. I'm not sure what vibration means.
What basically what I'm saying is that there's how the frame will look, kind of. Oh, you get terrible shadows going on. Anyway, I wish I had a brown. Wish I had the brown frame instead of the black frame. But yeah, it's what happens with colors when you have complementary colors or almost complementary colors right next to each other or layering together of the same value. So what I had underneath the background there was a like an orangey sort of tone from the underpainting, and then what I was putting on top was like I started with a bluish, and then I went to a greenish. So they're kind of opposite temperatures, almost different temperatures, but the same value. So you get like, like if you've ever looked at, or if you've ever tried to see, it's hard for me to explain what I mean. It's easier for me to just demonstrate. So like, be able to answer it for you. Did you see that? Oh, you just didn't see that. This is like my brand of fixative. I pounced my painting on the edge. Another reason I like Gatorboard. So whatever was too loose on the surface fell off onto my table. So now it's all ready. Like you can knock the back. Sometimes that'll work too. Anyhow, let me just do this and show you kind of what I mean. So you have a red that's a nice vivid red, and if you do a green next to it that is the same color green, the same value of green, like if you squint really hard at those, the line between them buzzes out because they're very, very close to the same value.
Okay.
So that's what
Okay.
and when you're looking at them, they have, if you were to do this kind of thing instead, this is a larger sort of demonstration of the kind of reaction that is going on when you layer up some colors lightly on top of each other where both of them are visible. You have like this vibration going on because they're complementary colors. And
I see it now.
that happens more, it can happen from an underpainting. The underpainting under here is acrylic. So you layer up some pastel on top of it, the acrylic stays put and it shows off the pastel without muddying it.
Oh.
So that's how you can get like, like when I put the blue on top of the gold, so I might have, let's just make a nice gold color. Nice warm orangey gold. And if you put a blue on top of that, that's the same value, you get kind of the same sort of feeling. Like if I just make blue over here, it's just blue on white. But if I put blue, now this might get muddy because this is pastel, but if I put blue on top of this, if I do it this way, so that I have pure blue strokes, that blue's not light enough for that orange. If I have pure blue strokes on top of this orange, where some of the orange is showing through, then you have like, well, if you squint, they're neutralizing each other. But when you look really closely into that orange, where that orange is, let's try this one, it's gold color. When they're blending together, they're turning green. But if you just see the orange with the blue, there's like a it's like a vibration going on. Anyway,
It's fascinating. Thank you.
that's because they're complements, but it really works best when it's the same value. I was trying to get the same value here, but it wasn't really happening very well. So that's why with the acrylics, why I like that acrylic underpainting so well, because the acrylic won't blend in like when I tried to, I was getting this blue wasn't pure because the orange pastel was physically mixing in with it. But the acrylic underpainting won't physically mix in with the pastel. It'll stay there. So that's why I like, working those cool colors over that warm underpainting really can get a lot of neat things going on.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
So Rita, the what you were painting on was gator board?
Yeah,
Is that
gator
what you
board.
said?
Gator board that was primed with acrylic primers that I use.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to learn more about that from you next time.
Yeah. I'll do some underpaintings next time because I only have one tiny little thing that's underpainted now, and I have some big drawings and I have some little drawings that I still need to underpaint. This is my last little finished underpainting.
Oh boy.
So I could paint that one with pastel, or I can just underpaint some of these. I've got drawings. I've got a cow and a goat, and I have a big young longhorn here. I may have a note. Make sure you have a frame for this. I think it's 16 by 16. So I have to check my closet and make sure I have a 16 by 16. And then these are donkeys that I had drawn out since way back. I was going to do a pair of donkeys. You can't really see very well. You can kind of see the drawing there.
So what is on that surface before they're underpainted?
This is one single layer of the gold primer that I use.
Okay.
What it is it's quinacridone, nickel azo gold, fluid acrylic color. I like the golden brand. And if that wasn't long enough, you'll get the video in a few days and you can pause the screen.
Okay.
And where is that? Oh, mixed in with some fine pumice gel or the golden pastel ground. And I did actually use some of this the other day. I opened it and I discovered that I had already used it. And to me, it's indistinguishable from the fine pumice gel. It's just a little more transparent, but I can't tell a difference. So I mix it in with this stuff. And I have my own gold. This is that gold mixture. And it looks darker when it's wet and in the jar. But when it spreads out, it becomes this really nice gold color. That's a single layer of this.
Okay.
And then
Thank
as
you.
it goes on, it gets a little darker. You can kind of see where it's overlapped here.
Right.
So this would be one layer, and then this would be a second layer, where these two parts overlapped as I was applying them.
Right. Interesting.
And then for the darker parts of the underpainting, I use the Terracotta Art Spectrum primer. in the terracotta.
Okay.
I like how the colors mix, blend together. This is like the gold. It's like a gold
Right.
layer of gold up here and a second layer of gold, and then this is solid terracotta, and this is terracotta with that's just scuffled on.
So it's always the same two colors that you use for all of the underpaintings.
Yeah, I'm just settled. I'm
Okay.
settled into this color scheme. I just love it.
Great.
I rarely experiment outside of this method. I like the results, so I just stick with it. Even that portrait back there, I started off with the same underpainting,
Really?
and yeah,
Well, I
sometimes
like it too,
I
so.
might have gotten the same result just on like a regular sanded paper, but there is it's an awful lot of dark in there. I don't know. I'm glad it's done. The problem with it is that it really didn't. I scanned it on my excuse me. I scanned it on my scanner, and then I put the pieces together in Photoshop,
Uh-huh.
and I did it really fast, the scanning and the compiling, and I tried to adjust it to make it look as similar as possible to the original, but with darks like that, you just can't. They just don't reproduce well. And so I think overall, I think that the digital image, like what I may be posting online and what I sent into the competition, is a little bit light. It's a little bit lighter than the reality. To get the details in the shadows, I think that happened, and I don't know. I wish she was coming and judging in person, but she's not. She's judging remotely. And
when did that happen?
Like next week.
Wow.
Between the 7th and the 12th of January, they said she was gonna decide, pick the awards, because I'm the chairperson for gathering the awards. So I'm soliciting out to donors for that, and I have this spreadsheet, and I have to like organize everything, make sure, okay, what have I got? What do we have coming in, so that we can name all of our awards.
Right.
We have like certain place awards, and then we have sponsor awards. So I have to have that done by the 7th. A couple more days.
Okay.
So she's going to be judging in the few days, like in those days.
Nice.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for those results.
What competition?
Austin Pastel Society website will have the show up digitally.
Okay.
And they usually do like a slideshow using some app or something. And then the show is a physical show, and it's going to be at Austin Art and Frame in Austin, Texas. But I guess you're kind of far away.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But yeah, it's this painting shows, if I do say so myself, it looks really good in life. You probably can't really tell on this camera either, but I can bring it. I still have to send it to my framer to put it in the frame.
Oh my gosh, that's
beautiful.
Huge.
So
That's
yeah, it's pretty
beautiful.
big. I don't know. So there are the
just-
3 kids.
Wow.
And
That's
Parrot is a little bit straighter.
incredible.
And then
Really good.
And then the dog in the corner.
Oh,
The dog is really dark.
That's beautiful. I couldn't make it out very well from when it was in the back of the room.
Yeah, but
It's
to my
gorgeous.
mind, it has a better impact. It has a better impact at a distance, and like shadowy. And I could turn this light on it, and you can see it better with this light on it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
See,
is.
straighten that up.
Yeah, it's
We,
great.
we expect to hear from you on this show. What you win?
Right.
First
We'll see.
place, grand.
Well, I've gotten best of show 3 times in the last
That's what we expect.
15 years. 15 years. The society was the first one I ever entered. The first pastel society I ever joined was the Austin Pastel Society, and that was like 2004, 2005. And I had best of show then, the first time I ever entered.
Oh,
locally
wow.
something, and so that was really fun. That was with a figurative piece also. That was almost that size, not quite. Um, and then I tried for 10 years. I entered that with like my very best things for 10 years and got it again 10 years later.
Oh,
And then I won it again the year after that, which was just a complete surprise. And it was even the same sort of, it was one of those small Renaissance portraits. I won it. I won at it. The second time I won with a little
Wow.
elfling. She's called Elfling was the title of that one. And then the following year, I think I won it. I think it was King's Guard, I think. So that was, I was thinking people must be really tired of me entering that now. It's like I almost don't want to win Best of Show with this because it would just be like somebody else deserves it. I could
oh,
win
don't think that.
second, although it's kind of
Rita, you knocked it out of the park this time. That is
well, it
gorgeous.
all just depends on how that digital image comes across
Mm.
in the judging. And I haven't even looked to see what else other people are entering. It gets more competitive every year. There's some really fantastic artists in that group. I haven't even looked, so I don't know.
Hmm.
Just whatever.
Well,
But I think I need to enter that into some other shows that are going to be judged in person because I think
I
this
saw
would
one
show
of your
really well.
paintings at the Colorado Pastel Society. I went to one of their shows, and it was gorgeous, and it's one that I've seen before. I think it was it the Elfin one, and of course you won an award. Do you remember that? It was a
Ca-
couple years ago.
Which one? What did it look like?
I think it was the young girl with the flowers around her head.
Oh, the profile?
No, maybe I
Was she in
thought it was
profile?
a head on.
Or maybe it was it young Diana? Was it I can't remember which one I sent up there. This one?
No, no.
No.
She actually had flowers.
Oh, was it?
And
Oh,
maybe
I
that
think I know
must,
what it was. It was Persephone. Did she have kind of a blue face?
yes.
Yeah, that was Persephone. I like that one too. I have that one in the house.
It was so amazing. I've never forgotten it. Very
Yeah,
beautiful.
I liked how that one came out. She's gathered a few awards.
Well,
You're going
she
to
should.
send this. You're going to send this big one to your framer. Is that really expensive, Rita?
No, because I have the frame. All I'm going to send it to her for is to cut my glass and assemble it. I have this frame here. I'll just put this up. This frame.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
Very nice.
and it's used already. It was used and it came off of something else. So I have to have her touch it up for me and fix it up and put the glass in. That one's probably going to be the Museum Optium acrylic glass. The really expensive stuff, but
Ooh.
it's lightweight because it's acrylic. It's not glass, but it looks the same as museum glass. It's like $500 for a piece that size.
Whoa. Whoa, that's
But-
crazy.
And is
But-
the show you're in now with this piece? Is that thing pieces for sale?
Yeah, but I had to put 14,000 on it because mainly not because I think it's gonna sell for that, but because if it does, that's what it's worth, and it's more likely to whatever price I have on it. An image like this is more likely to attract people who want to commission something, and I don't want to give anybody a false impression on how much it would be for them to commission a 3-child full figurative portrait like this one.
Mm.
It would be 14,000. I added it up, and even with the, I even did like the boy. I did him as a head and shoulders because there's really nothing else showing of it, and I did the girl in the middle. I did her as a 3/4 view with hands and arms because there's really nothing to her legs but half of a boot. And then the third girl in the middle, the third girl there is a full body portrait, which alone would be 8,000. So with the other two added in, it came out to 14,000. So that's I got to put that price on it. Otherwise, I'm giving people who want to commission me something. If I had like 8,000 on that, they would probably think that I would do a 3-child portrait for 8,000, which I won't.
Do you have big time collectors also looking at pieces like that? large.
Not
and
really.
Really? I'm
Not really.
surprised because it's beautiful. It's
I have
it's gorgeous.
I have too many portrait clients who are from the old days of when I was doing, like, a couple decades ago. I did a Head and Shoulders portrait for like $300.
Hmm.
And those are the clients I still have. They get the pencil portraits, the black and white pencil portraits, kind of do pretty quick. And this just takes a lot more effort and a lot more time. And I'm not even really sure if I want to go in that direction and market commission pieces. I do a few, but mostly they're the $2,000 prices. I've done head and upper body without hands, and that I've charged like $2,500 for. And I've done head and shoulders that I've charged $1,500 for. But I only have those 2 clients buying those.
So what was the inspiration for these? Do you know these children?
Yeah, that's my daughter is in the middle, and her cousins to either side of her.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was over Thanksgiving, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
Maybe more than that now. Maybe about 5 years ago. And they were just hanging out. This is at my sister-in-law's house. And they were just hanging out, as kids do. And I just had my camera with me, and I was taking pictures of everything. As people. So there was this one shot where Samantha glanced up at me as I was taking pictures, and she had that look on her face. I was like, "Ooh!" When I saw that photo, I'm like, "Oh, that's going to be a good one." And the other 2, I actually had taken several photos of them sitting there, and so I had photoshopped their precise poses for this portrait from a couple of other photos of that stream of photos. And the dog was from somewhere else. I mean, he was their dog. He was not in any of those photos. He was in some different photos. So I put him in because I wanted something to balance the composition. And I put Samantha right in the middle because as I was composing, I'm like, they kind of ended up towards one side.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, how far can I push them to one side? And so her face, like her nose, is exactly in the middle between the left and the right side.
So is this going to hang in your house or in your sister-in-law's house?
I don't know. That's too far ahead to think of. Hopefully it'll hang in somebody else's house.
Right, for $14,000.
Heck yeah. It's not unheard of. I did sell the one of my daughter curled up with the red sheet draped under her. That one sold to another artist out of the Pastel Society of America show. But this one doesn't have nearly as much symbolism as that one did. So this is just a portrait of 3 kids. But hopefully it has enough appeal to somebody. I don't know. Something about that arm. As I was painting Samantha, she's kind of a small, petite little girl. And she was lounging back on that sofa, and her arm was stretched out. So her torso looks really short in this. But that's because her torso is kind of at an angle, like she's slouching. And
her face is phenomenal, though. It's
the face
gorgeous.
is out.
I saw how you were patting the background to blend it.
Oh yeah.
You do that to the face too to get that smoothness for a face for skin.
Sometimes, yeah, on a smaller scale. If I feel like it needs it, I do. Sometimes I'll just use the pastel, and other times, I'll do whatever it takes. Like on hers, I had far too much pastel built up, so I actually wiped off the shadowed side of her face on the cheek area to get down to that underpainting, which has the glow to it.
Okay.
So I pulled out that glow on the shadowed side of her cheek a little bit more. And on the highlighted side, I even added a little bit more orange because it was getting too cool. Like, I'm not even really sure what color light that is. Like, I was not really going warm light, cool shadow on that painting. I'm not really sure what it is. What the temperature of that light is. It's almost warm light. warm shadow in some areas, warm shadows in some areas, and there's cold light in other areas, vice versa. Cool shadow on the sofa, warm light on the blanket. I don't know. It's just all
Cloudy
mixed
days will
up.
do that, won't it?
Huh?
Cloudy days will make the shadows like that.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't direct sunlight coming in from like the front door was open or whatever, and the light was coming in from there. So it wasn't direct light. It was just like window light. So I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm gonna have to let all you all go. It's getting late.
Well, it was a wonderful
you.
class. I'm sorry I missed an hour of it.
It
One
was
more question.
wonderful.
What kind of pastel pencil do you use? What brand?
I have a bunch. I don't really
Okay.
pay much attention. I have like two boxes full. There's all kinds in here.
Okay.
They're all old. I haven't bought any in a long time. I have Faber-Castell. I have Carbothello. I have Conte, which I like. I have Derwent. Schwann Stabilo. Oh, that's the Carbothello. Yeah, those four mostly. Yeah, I just have a whole bunch. I have some Cretacolor. You know, I don't use pastel pencils exclusively very much. So I just use them when I need something like that to do something that a pastel can't do or can't do as
Okay.
easily.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know that cow just comes off that painting. He is so dimensional. He's really wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
It is. It's great.
Give me a screenshot here.
Yeah. Oh, really nice.
Somebody definitely will grab it up.
Well, I was thinking I would try to paint, I've got all these large ones drawn out. And, I have this little closet way back there in the corner. Way back there is a little
Yeah.
closet that's underneath the stairs going up. And it's just chock full of frames that are too large for my shelves up at the top of the room. And I need to fill them up. Even though there aren't any art festivals to go to, but I gotta do something out here. I gotta work out here more often than just once a week too. Thanks.
Thank you, Rita.
Yeah.
We'll see you next one.
Yeah,
It was
thank
great.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the next one's the paint along. So I know, Christine, if you heard about my paint along, I have one.
I did. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I might just do it to watch anyway.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end it.
Okay.
And,
Well, I'll be at the paint along. Thank you.
See you all around.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.